vidyate hridaya granthis chidyante sarva sanshaya shiyante chasya karmani vishtaya vatmanishvare. Okay, ready? Okay, so we recite the verse again. Kalam karma swabhavam cha maeshu mayaya svaya atman yadrichaya praptam vibhubhushu. Recite. Kalam karma swabhavam cha maeshu maya svaya atman yadrichaya praptam vibhubhushurupadade. Kalam kasubhavam cha maeshu maya svaya atman yadrichaya praptam vibhubhushurupadade. Okay, we'll read the words. I think we have to cover 3 verses, right?
Or whatever.
Yeah. Kalam, eternal time. Karma, the fate of the living entity. Swabhavam, nature. Cha, also. Maya, potency. Ishaha, the controller. Mayaya, by the energy. Swaya, of his own. Atman, unto himself. Yadricha, independently. Praptam, being merged in. Vibhubhushuhu, appearing differently. Upadade, accepted, being created again. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, E.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Lord, who is the controller of all energies, thus creates by His own potency eternal time, the fate of all living beings, and their particular nature for which they were created, and He again merges them independently. The creation of the material world, wherein the conditioned souls are allowed to act subordinately by the Supreme Lord, takes place again and again after being repeatedly annihilated. The material creation is something like a cloud in the unlimited sky. The real sky is the spiritual sky, eternally filled with the rays of Brahma Jyoti. And a portion of this unlimited sky is covered by the Mahat Tattva, cloud of material creation, in which the conditioned souls who want to lord it against the will of the Lord are put into play as they desire, under the control of the Lord by the agency of external energy. As the rainy season appears and disappears, the creation takes place and is again annihilated under the control of the Lord, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 8.19. So, the creation and annihilation of the material worlds is a regular action of the Lord, just to allow the conditioned souls to play as they like and thereby create their own fate of being differently created again in terms of their independent desires and annihilation. The creation therefore takes place at a historical date, as we are accustomed to think of everything which has a beginning in our tiny experience. The process of creation and annihilation is called anadi, or without reference to date, regarding the time creation first took place. Because the duration of even a person is 8,040 million years.
I think that's billions.
Yeah, you can say it different ways. So 8,640 million Or
that's the number is 8 million, 8,640 million.
or we can say 8.64 billion years. 8.64 billion years. Billion. The law of creation is, however, as mentioned in the Vedic literatures, is created. So I'll read that again, this last. The process of creation and annihilation is called anadi, or without reference to date, regarding the time the creation first took place, because the duration of even a partial creation is 8.4 billion years. That is, I think, the day of Brahma. So every day of Brahma there is a creation. The law of creation is, however, as mentioned in the Vedic literatures. Creation is, however, as mentioned in the Vedic literatures, created at certain intervals and is again annihilated by the will of the Lord. Material or even the spiritual creation is a manifestation of the energy of the Lord, just as the light and heat of a fire are different manifestations of the fire's energy. The Lord therefore exists in his impersonal form by such expansion of energy, and the complete creation rests on his impersonal feature. As he keeps himself distinct from such creation as the Purnam or complete. And so no one should wrongly think that his personal feature is not existent due to his impersonal unlimited expansions. The impersonal expansion is a manifestation of his energy and is always in his personal feature despite his innumerable unlimited expansions of impersonal energies. The impersonal expansion is of his energy and is always in his personal feature despite his innumerable unlimited expansions of impersonal energies. For human intelligence, it is very difficult to conceive how the whole creation rests on his expansion of energy. But the Lord is a good example in the Bhagavad Gita. It is said that although the air, the atoms rest within the huge expansion of the sky, which is like the resting reservoir of everything materially created, still the sky remains separate and unaffected. Similarly, although the Super maintains everything created by his expansion of energy, he always remains separate. This is accepted by Shankaracharya, the great advocate of the impersonal form of the Absolute. He says, Narayana Paro Vyaktat, or Narayana separately, apart from impersonal creative energy. And thus merges within the body of transcendental Narayan at the time of annihilation. And the creation emanates from his body again. Same unchanging categories of faith and individual nature. The individual living entities, being parts and parcels of the Lord, are sometimes described as Atma, qualitatively one in spiritual constitution. But because each such living entities are apt to be attractive creation, actively and subjectively, they are therefore different from the Lord. So I think these are verses which Brahma is saying how the creation happens in response to Narad Muni's question. Pretty much very self-explanatory purport. So everything is coming from Krishna. The material and spiritual energies, the material world and the spiritual world. The material world, Prabhupada says, is a place for the conditioned souls to play, all of us to play out our desires, independent Supreme Lord. And Krishna gives us chance again and again. So the creation happens, then we do our desires, play out our desires. And then Mahavishnu breathes in, then all we go into the body of the Mahavishnu. Then again next creation happens, again we come out, and again we are, from whatever our dormant desires are, from we again carry on. Just like every time we die, then we start again, then we again previous desires, our previous desires. This life is just a continuation of our desires from previous life. So in the same way, in the creation also, creation happens, annihilation happens, and again we go into the body of Mahavishnu for a long time. And for the jiva to remain in the body, a very nice situation, because jiva is very active to be sleeping for such a long time. Then again again the creation happens, again we come. So there is no time you can trace when the creation started, right? Because it is going on, as Prabhupada says. So we don't know how long we have been in this material existence, how many times we have been in the body of Mahavishnu, again we have come out. And so it is described, Anadi, Jiva se Anadi Bahirmukha, Ateva Maya Tare Deya Sansara. So since time immemorial, we cannot tracing of this material chapter, how we came into the material world. Since time immemorial, we have forgotten Krishna. And Krishna Bhuli Jiva se Anadi. Anadi means beginningless. Now we have turned away from Krishna. And Ateva Maya Tare Sansara. So Maya has given us a lot of trouble. We have been suffering in this material since time immemorial. So every time we get human body, it is a chance. It is a chance to go back to our eternal situation. It is also described that this material world is a small place in the Mahatattva. In the corner, there is a cloud. In the spiritual sky, there is a cloud in the corner. Material world is how much of the spiritual world? 1/4. 99 point material world.
99% of the population is
In terms of size, Ekanshina Stito Jagat. It is one whole creation. So it is. But material world is so large, we can't how big is the material? How many galaxies and how many universes? You have any? We don't know where all this starts, right? Milky Ways and all this. NASA has that video, right?
Now they are saying it's limited, not unlimited.
But
Because if it was unlimited, we are seeing so many stars, right? But we are seeing so much of darkness also at night. If it was unlimited, planets, every star would reflect at billion light years. But because there is darkness, that means in that portion there is absolutely nothing. That means it is a very limited something that they are saying.
but the darkness also, maybe they are saying there are planets billions of light. Some they are saying like that. So we don't know where it. I mean, they come up with different theories. Sometimes they say in physics we read this, what redshift, Doppler effect, and redshift. The universe is constantly expanding. They are saying it is constantly expanding. So that's what. When I read, it was like this. Maybe now there's something different, but factually we cannot know where all this starts and where this ends. In travel in space, and you can never come to the end.
You are working on the gradual portion, right?
Hmm.
So, cloud.
Yeah, it's the cosmic cosmology, Bhagavad cosmology. I don't know how exactly, because each bubble that when Mahavishnu breathes out, then each bubble is created, and each bubble is a universe into which then Garbhodakshai Vishnu goes inside and fills that bubble, and so many bubbles are floating in this ocean. But in that bubble, which is like a universe, there are 14 planetary systems on which Brahma. So there are many Brahmas, so many. So how many bubbles are there? We don't know in the causal ocean. Causal ocean is the Viraja river, which separates, they say, the material and the spiritual. But how it all ties up, we have to see the Bhagavad cosmology.
Where is Brahma Jyoti is outside of
Brahma Jyoti, where is the Brahma Jyoti? That's a good question, because that is the effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is in the material, everything is resting in Brahma Jyoti, they say. So all, including the spiritual planets and the material planets, are all
There is the image that was created based on the Bhagavad. So that is where Brahma Jyoti is the covering, and then starts the causal ocean, and then the Mahavishnu expands it.
all the planets are within the Brahma Jyoti of the Supreme Lord. So
And the Brahma Jyoti is everywhere, like here also in Prabhupada.
it encompasses everything. So everything is floating in the Brahma Jyoti, the material universes, but that Brahma Jyoti, beyond the Brahma Jyoti, is the spiritual sky.
It starts from like the sun rays are coming from the sun. Krishna is the world.
The effulgence, that effulgence in that effulgence. From the bodily effulgence of Krishna is called Brahma Jyoti. So, yeah. Yeah, but the thing, yeah, so every time we come into this material world, it is created by time, and all the jivas come into this material based on their desires. So there are 8,400,000 species of life, and according to your desires, you go in. Prabhupada says sometimes we appear differently. Right? So we appear in different forms, sometimes in human form, sometimes in plant form. So ultimately, to go beyond the Brahma Jyoti into the spiritual sky, we have to again change our consciousness. Right? That's the main thing. Then you will go beyond all the planets and go to the spiritual sky. So what else Prabhupada says? This purport. So the example that the wind is resting in the sky, right? Similarly, everything is resting within the Supreme Lord, but the sky is aloof from the wind. Similarly, Krishna has created everything, but he is aloof. And he quotes Shankaracharya, Narayano Paro Vyakta. Even Shankaracharya has admitted that Narayan is transcendental to this material creation. So, like that. Okay, so anything else on this? So, what cosmology we have to see? How the Bhagavad cosmology, because each bubble is a universe, and into which each universe there is Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Yeah.
But that's the spiritual world that we hello and that Brahma Jyoti sun.
Even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that na tad bhashayate suryo na shashanko na pavaka yad gatva na nivartante tad dham paramam. So all sun, there is no need for moon, because Krishna's effulgence in the spiritual sky illuminates everything. Like that, it is described. Even in the spiritual sky, although there is sun and moon, and there is night also, but Krishna's effulgence, so all these things are beyond the vision, how it is.
Like Prabhupada was saying that this material was like a playground, and then the example of the child who's by the beach making a sand castle. And the time comes when the parent says, now it's time to go.
Oh.
What is this sand castle? That's what we are doing in this material, building our sand castle.
Everything is dismantled by time. Krishna says, time, I am destroyer of the world. Kalosmi, time is Krishna's energy. So we have been coming into this world so many times, and we have every time thought, I'll create a nice situation. And then we have to, of course, it is an evolution of consciousness. So many lives through, now we have come to Krishna consciousness. Maybe we cultivated Krishna consciousness in our past. And so now again we are getting a chance. Krishna is giving another chance to perfect our life. So it is an opportunity. Yes.
Yeah, we can talk about the universes and how many there are and stuff like that. But right here, particularly in this universe, particularly in our galaxy, we see that there's 7 planets up, 7 planets down, Vedic cosmology. And am I to understand by Vedic translation that these 7 planets do not include the known planets that the Western cosmology is supporting, or the 9 planets? The 9 planets that Western cosmology we know about, Saturn, Uranus, those. Am I to understand these planets are different than the Vedic cosmology?
Is a planet
I'm asking, please, madam, the speaker.
Yeah, there is it's a planetary system. So we have like
So my question is,
on this plane, on the Bhumandal,
the Western cosmology, the 9 planets that they've established already in this galaxy, am I to understand that those are different than the Vedic cosmology that is pictured above your head?
yeah, because I think those planets are in the Bhumandal, right? We have I don't know, Mars and Jupiter and Mercury and all they are part of the planetary system, the plane in which the Earth is located, right? It's not, but moon, no, we are talking about nine planets. Mercury, moon is not considered according to the modern.
Moon is not a planet, it's a satellite.
Yeah.
The moon has inhabitants in it. It's a satellite that was built by human endeavor. It's not created by Krishna. It was built by human endeavor.
No, but it's in the galaxy. We have this.
I think cosmology moon is here.
But this
I'm talking about we see right here in the Earth's galaxy 7 up, 7 down in the Vedic cosmology. Also in the Western cosmology that we are in right now, they have 9 planets they identified. So I'm asking, are these 9 planets different from the
7 planetary, 14 planetary system?
And Prabhu is saying yes, they're different.
Because I think there is a middle planetary system, there is a heavenly planetary system, and then there's lower planetary system. So there are 3 planetary systems, and in that there are different planes, right? Brahmaloka is in a different plane than Jambudvip, and then others on Earth. Yeah. So there are different planetary systems, so different planes. So yeah, and each bubble is a universe in the causal ocean. So it is said on the stem of the lotus that comes from Lord Garbhodakshai's navel, there are 4 planetary systems on that stem. So then each bubble, there is difference, right? Because each bubble is like floating separately, and in that Brahma there in that planetary system, and so like that. So okay, anyway, so we have to. Cosmology is a whole thing in itself, and sometimes it doesn't agree with modern science, right? Because people say that moon is closer, sun is farther than the moon. But according to Bhagavad cosmology, they say moon is far.
But you're calling the moon that is actually a
Moon is
satellite.
far.
You're calling this moon here a moon, but it's actually a satellite. It's not a moon. It's been created by man. So why call it a moon if it's a satellite? What's that?
This moon is not created by us, right?
They went there, and when they went there, they were the focus of attention there, and they come here from and you just can wait. I'm not sure you'll live that long, but you can wait till the ones from the moon
a minute,
come here, because they're actually here now telling you that they're going to come down here from the moon.
A minute.
They're actually telling you that.
A minute.
So you can just wait.
Just a minute. What I'm saying is that what the scripture is saying is true, but our understanding of it is not proper. If we really understand what it is, you know that it is correct. For instance, there's no contradiction in what is being said, that the moon is farther than the sun. We are saying that the sun is farther from the moon. You should understand it in this way.
In which plane you are looking at?
Yes, you understand in this way that the sun is closer to the Bhumandal. It's about 100,000 yojanas from the Bhumandal, whereas the moon is 200,000 yojanas from the Bhumandala, from the Bhumandal. But the Bhumandal is different from the position of the Bharatvaja we are in. From Bharatvaja to the sun, which is longitudinal, is about 18 million yojanas, 50 million yojanas. Whereas the moon is not quite much. You see, it's just like you have, let me just explain it. It's just like this is the platform of the Bhumandal, and the way I'm standing now is the earth. That is the Bharatvaja, what we consider to be earth. So the moon is like this. Let's say this is the height of the moon from the
whole-
Bhumandal, which is this distance. The sun from the Bhumandal is like this, that is half of it. But the sun is toward this side, farther,
Oh,
about 50 million yojanas from where I'm standing. But from the platform, it is 100,000 yojanas. From the platform, which is going
so from the plane. From the plane.
that's what I'm talking about. It is 100,000 yojanas. So from the plane of the Bhumandal, the moon is farther away from the sun, but the sun is farther away from the Bharadvas, which is
So
different from
in
the
terms of the earth is far away from the sun.
from the sun.
But
Yes.
the Bhumandal is closer.
It's closer
to the
to the sun.
Yeah.
So that is what is being said. It's not. There's no
Depends
contradiction
on
about it.
how you look at it, and thank you.
But then, Prabhu, so this moon is not that Veda is, or is this a real? Because Prabhupada says that man never the moon. Prabhupada says, right? Man never.
But not gone to the moon. Yes.
We never gone to the moon.
Yes.
That's a different topic.
Moon is said to be
But
water in nature. Water is plasma.
we see, like, even from the photograph and or the telescope, that we see some vehicles, like parts there.
It's plasma. It's not solid.
Chandrayaan, right? They went to
It's not
the.
solid.
And
So what they are saying, they went to different place, not moon.
yeah, they went to the satellite moon.
They went to different place, not moon. They go to the moon planet.
But this is not the moon that we see at night.
It's a moon planet.
But then I see something on it.
Like what?
Spots.
No,
He sees white.
No.
yeah.
You can see the vehicle on the moon.
We have telescopes, no, Prabhu?
Ah.
Telescopes where you zoom in. Yeah,
You can see so many things on the surface of the moon, but they are not what you see. It's
the flag is also because of radiation now. It has.
that's no
He can see the US flag on it.
Nobody has gone to the moon.
You are seeing the flag Armstrong put on the moon, right?
Well, he's talking about something that we actually can't see because they're on the other side of the moon. But there's a hole
There are
on
confessions
the moon.
of cheating.
And inside there's a whole civilization that's really referred to in Vedic mythology as the Nagas. They live inside the moon.
There is nothing there. There is no use of spending so much.
No, they cannot go. They are not on there.
But they are.
Yeah, they went to the moon already. And it was Srila Prabhupada's disciples that Prabhupada asked personally, find out for sure because the government might be making propaganda. It's Prabhupada's disciples that now are taking the responsibility from their spiritual master. And if they are propagating, they did not go to the moon, then they are misguiding Prabhupada's direction because he has to find out for sure. Now, Prabhupada's disciples want to say they didn't go to the moon because Prabhupada said, throwing off their responsibility that they're of their spiritual master. Because Prabhupada asked particularly, find out for sure because government men are making propaganda. Are you part of the government, Prabhu?
This can be a point of conflict between devotees.
Sometimes they say moon is a heavenly planet, and you cannot force your way by
We're looking
technology.
at a satellite. Ours is a satellite.
When they went to the moon,
Nagas live inside of
who did they see? When they went to the moon, who did they see? Who did they contact?
a lot. That's why it was. What
What
is
inhabitants who did it when they went to the moon?
it? 30 years you couldn't see the film. For 30 years.
Materialized, they were saying, right?
The time you were in Krishna, you couldn't watch the movie of the going to the moonland because it was.
Okay, we can go to the next verse. How many verses are there? Okay, so this is also big, not so big purpose. Okay. So I'll just read the verse. Kala guna vyatikaraha parinamaha swabhavataha.
Next.
Huh?
We are pulling up on the tree.
Okay.
Yes. Kalaguna
Parinamaha swabhavataha karmano janma mahata purusha adhisthita abhut. After the incarnation of the first Purusha, Karana, Arna, Vishnu, the Mahat Tattva or principles of material creation take place. And then time is manifested, and in course of time, the three qualities appear. Nature means the three qualitative appearances. They transform into activities. Okay, so first time comes, and then after that, the modes of material nature appear, and then the different activities happen. Well, by the omnipotency of Supreme Lord, the whole material creation evolves by the process of transformation and reactions one after another. And by the same omnipotency, they are wound up again, one after another, and consume the body of the Supreme. Kal or time is the synonym of nature and is the transformed manifestation of the principles of material creation. Kal or time is the synonym of nature and is the transformed manifestation of the principles of material creation. As such, Kal may be taken as the first cause of all creation, and by transformation of nature, different activities of material world become visible. I'll just read. As such, Kal may be taken as the first of all creation, and by transformation of nature, different activities of the material world becomes visible. These activities may be taken up as the natural instinct of each and every living being, or even of the inert objects. And after the manifestation of activities, there are varieties of products and byproducts in nature. Originally, these are all due to the Supreme Lord. The Vedanta Sutras and the Bhagavatam thus begin with the absolute truth as the beginning of all creation. Janmadi yasya yataha. So time comes, then I think we have the Pradhan, Mahatattva, the Pradhan, and then that is agitated by the glance of Vishnu, and all the living entities are injected into that. And then modes of material nature are there, and then they agitate, and different varieties of products come. So different kinds of forms come because of the different modes of nature. Like here, so we have this table, this different shape, then we have this drum which is different shape than this. So it's all ultimately all matter, but it has been made into different forms. So similarly, we get different bodies according to the modes of material nature we have associated with. So like that. But Krishna is the source. This is the second Vedanta Sutra. First is Athato Brahma Jigyasa, that now I am in the human form of life, let me inquire into the absolute truth. Then what is the absolute truth? Then they say, this is the second one. Janmadi yasya yatha. Janma means creation or birth. Birth and maintenance and everything is coming from truth. So Krishna is the source. Janma Adi, etc. You can sing. From Janma, everything is coming from the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is the source of everything. Actually, although we say source, but the soul is always existing also. So as soon as there is sun, there is sunshine. But sunshine is the sun is the source of sunshine, but they are both simultaneously. We cannot have sun without sunshine. Similarly, the jiva also is simultaneously existing with Krishna, because Krishna has many, many different energies, and we are one of those marginal energies of Krishna. Krishna is another energy, which we say, right, what is another energy? This Mahamaya, Yogamaya, Ladini Shakti, we say Ladini Shakti, Tatashta Shakti, Antaranga Shakti is Ladini Shakti, and then external energies, yeah. So like that, like we have nuclear energy, chemical energy, like that, different kinds of energies. So Krishna has many different kinds of energies, and we are the energy of the Lord. Okay. Other way it is classified as Sandhini, Samvit, and Ladini. Sandhini is the energy by which everything exists. Samvit is by which you know everything. Krishna knows everything. Ladini is that which gives pleasure to Krishna. So Radharani is the internal energy of Krishna. So it is Krishna's energy. Yesterday we went for book, and we went door to door, and this person he said, he had a lot of questions. So we were standing outside in the cold, and he said, come inside. I said, can we come inside? And he said, this concept of Radha, I'm not able to understand. I said, He says Radha's name is not mentioned in the Bhagavatam and everywhere. No, nowhere it's mentioned. And I'm not able to understand the concept of Radha. So I told it's esoteric concept of Radharani and internal energy. And many people figure out why Krishna is enjoying with Radharani and although with so many gopis. So I told him, if you have $1,000 and if you spend your $1,000 to enjoy in different way, is there anything wrong? It's your money, right? You're spending it. So similarly, Radharani is Krishna's own energy and enjoying with his own energy. So there is nothing wrong. But if I enjoy with Krishna, another energy of Krishna, it is not because it's not my energy, becomes immoral. But because everything belongs to Krishna, there is nothing. So
Krishna is just reciprocating with their desire.
yeah, that also I like the sages wanted in when Ram was there. So sages wanted to experience the conjugal rasa, right? They wanted to worship, right, in the conjugal rasa. And they said, no, we can't. So there are different types of gopis also. That are Rishichari gopis, there is Shrutichari gopis.
All of them are Krishna as a husband.
When Ram got married, then everybody wanted Ram like Ram. In Mithila, then when he was Dandakaranya, then the tribal ladies in the forest, everybody wanted to have Lord Ram. So beautiful. Who doesn't like such a beautiful, handsome husband, right? So
And Radharani is enjoying more than Krishna. That's why it comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to understand love she's feeling.
yeah. So unless we are like, it's very difficult to understand that how come Krishna is having so many gopis and he's enjoying with all the difficult he was. So that's how we understand. And then he was asking about Dwarka, how many children he had, and I said, huh?
We can't discuss such concepts.
Yeah, but he was specifically asking that I understand Arjuna and Krishna, but this thing I cannot understand.
But again, these things are coming in 10th canto, right? So start with the
First canto.
Yeah.
You should give the Bhagavatam set.
Yeah. He took a Bhagavad Gita.
Answer is here in this. When you read it all, you will understand.
Yeah. Krishna book is good. We didn't have yesterday Krishna book, we had Bhagavad Gita, so we gave him Bhagavad Gita. But yeah. Okay, so the next verse. Anything else? Discuss.
Through this time concept, so Krishna creates it the first thing in this universe, right? But there is no time in the spiritual world. So, in a time here for our tracking purpose, what was the
I mean, it is energy of Krishna, time. It's an energy. We are
there
in
also is that.
there also, but it doesn't have the destructive effect. Like the time is there, but you don't age with time.
But that is based on Krishna's desire, right? Or it's not like acting with
There is no
okay,
destructive.
Time is there, but like but they are not. Okay, now I become older by 1 year, and now
there is day and night there also.
yeah,
But
then
on a regular basis.
yeah.
Schedule. There is-
Lastly, out there are cold. In the morning, they go for
In the spiritual world. Time? Time is spiritual world. It's very much Krishna's person.
At night,
Ashtakali Vedic state during this time to this time, this Leela happened. Then this is the same Leela happened at different times.
Well, mention that not such a moment passes away in the spiritual world. Everything is just at present. Everything is present all the time. But the thing is just that Krishna's times of, not in terms of Krishna's pastime. That's the concept of time. But everything is present. Nothing passes away as past away. It's difficult for every person to understand how this is. That's why most of the things will be in terms of how this works.
the temple, the purpose of destruction. So that there is
Here our karma also plays out with time, and everything happens with time. But yeah, with time is a destructive effect of time. Right? Krishna says in the 4th chapter that this transcendent knowledge was lost in due. Even everything gets deteriorated by the use of time. So, but there it is not like that. It increases your love for Krishna and everything with time, everything. But every time also it appears fresh. They forget that. They think this is happening first time. You know how it happens. Because otherwise you will get bored, right? You think, "Oh, this is same past happened before." I don't know. Somewhere we read. But somewhere we read, right? It's ever fresh. So
Ever increasing bliss. What is it? Anandam
Buddhi
Buddhi
Vardhanam. So bliss is increasing. But here also we can experience, like you chant Hare Krishna, same Hare Krishna becomes sweeter and sweeter. That's what they say, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. The taste increases, but you have to experience that. Is it increasing? Taste is increasing day by day.
very offensive and
But yeah, that's supposed to be like that. Every day we are supposed to become more and more joyful. Ha ha, ha, this is so nice, so nice, so nice.
Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj.
Huh?
Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. That we should come to the temple every day is our first day. Every time we come to the temple, our first day.
Or your joy should increase from last day to this day. Again you are coming to temple. This is another amazing.
But that's only if you take the steps that are required in Krishna consciousness, because it's a science of the soul. If you miss steps, all that increasing joy and joy just becomes funny.
If you don't take the steps.
Science of the soul. So each step has to be executed.
Yeah.
If you miss a step, Ananda Buddhi Vardhanam nada.
Yeah. So instead of, like, if we make offenses, then instead of increasing, our taste will decrease. So that is also there, right? Decrease, or it will become stagnant and we'll lose taste, like that they say. So we have to do it in the proper conscience every day, like properly, nicely, like in the temple you do every day. Like Rupa Goswami also says, every day you the holy name with great respect. Then slowly and gradually, your taste will increase. And you have to avoid the offenses also. Like that. Our taste will increase.
I was thinking that day by day we are realizing how nasty this place is, how troublesome, and Krishna will come back to this is the only way. So our intensity should go up as we experience more and more disturbances and difficulties.
That is there. Yeah. Yeah, that's like, it is an impetus for us to go back or to increase our bhakti. That maybe you may say, well, it's materially motivated, but still. And then you see, when you are completely Krishna conscious, you see everything. This is spiritual world, right? There also is there, right? Vishwam Purnam Sukhayate. You feel that because anything is material or spiritual, it depends on your consciousness. If I see everything connected to Krishna and meant for his enjoyment, then it is spiritual consciousness. If I see it is for my enjoyment, for my this thing, and disconnected from Krishna. So, yeah, it is a spiritual, yeah, and also other way also, yeah, we have birth, death, old age, disease, so we have to go through that. But so Yukta Vairagya, we have to use every Krishna's service, right? It's the thing. Yeah. That's it. You want to say anything? Yeah, Kali Yuga is going to get worse and worse. It's described in the, right? 12th canto of Bhagavad.
As we grow old, it's going to get worse and
Worse.
What do we expect?
But disease, old age, and death.
As the world is changing, it becomes harder and harder to live.
Yeah.
So you're trying to tell me that the words of the spiritual master, a pure devotee, that as Krishna consciousness spreads in the world, is going to actually make it a better place.
Correct.
Those words of the spiritual master are incorrect. Oh, the pure devotee are correct.
No, there is a 10,000 year.
No, they're correct.
There is 10,000
It's
year
gonna get better now.
period in
Because Krishna
Kali.
consciousness is spreading
Hmm.
and changing the very factor of the material realm.
The thing is that material conditions are going to get worse. But
What worse was in '65 when the army was shooting the students across the street. That was the worst. Prabhupada came and Krishna consciousness is going to make it better now. And there's no ever going to be any place where the army is going to be shooting students anymore on this earth. That would make it worse.
But there was no COVID at that time.
so they say that when the World War happens, people are going to suffer so much. They're going to turn to after COVID. People became more Krishna conscious because they suffered the miseries.
Correct.
When people suffer more, they turn towards God.
Yes. So yeah,
For devotees, it will get better, and for people,
Well, they say there is misery is mandatory, suffering is optional.
Yeah.
If you become more and more pure devotee, there is no suffering.
Mhm.
Even if you are in a miserable condition, which in the world where Krishna says it's dukhalyam, you can't change that. But the devotee in the suffering, as he becomes more and more pure.
Yeah. That's what Vishwam Purnam Sukhayate, right? That's what you say. Yeah, but in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada writes, unless one is pessimistic of the miseries of material existence, there is no impetus for making spiritual advancement. Right? So in heavenly planets, situation is very wonderful. So they are waiting to take birth on this planet.
If the suffering is so much also.
In the planets also it is very difficult. So Earth is the best place because you have mix of some enjoyment, some suffering. So we are in the best place in the right time, being in the right time with the right people, in the right movement. Everything is right. Right desire. That's right. Prasad, yes.
right over here.
Bhagavatam, there is one verse, right? We read, the day by day, as the day is progressing, we should be shaken up by fear. We have very less time. We should be becoming sincere right now.
In consciousness,
We don't
yes.
know the next moment what it brings.
Yes. Time is running out, human form of life. So we should be trembling in fear. Oh, my death is coming. But actually, yeah, somebody yesterday I heard somebody diagnosed with cancer, right?
Lucky guy.
So it's like, yeah, the whole now change of like mindset, everything, and that can happen to anybody, right? Maybe some is not like that, but we should not. If it doesn't happen in this life, it can happen in the next. You can never trust karma, right? So like that. So we should think like, yeah, time is running out. I have to become serious. Serious means more thinking of Krishna. More Krishna consciousness means more like praying to Krishna, more like mind should be. The whole thing is to bring our consciousness to Krishna, mind to Krishna. So all this we are doing, Mangala Arati and all this, to bring our attachment to Krishna, some attachment for Krishna. And for the devotees, service to devotees and like. Okay, so we'll read that. Mahatastu Viknad Raja Sattvo Primhitat Tama Pradhanastva Abhavad Dravyana Kriyatmakaha. Material activities are caused by the Mahat Tattvas being agitated. At first, there is transformation of the mode of goodness and passion. Due to the mode of ignorance, matter. Due to the mode of matter, its knowledge and different activities of material knowledge come into play. Material creations of every description are more or less due to the development of the mode of. So passion means you want to create. So, the Mahat Tattva is the principle of material creation. And when it is agitated by the will of the Supreme at first, the modes of passion and goodness are prominent. being generated, induced by material activities of different varieties, becomes prominent. So, sorry, I'll read this again. The Mahatattva is creation, and when it is agitated by the will of the Supreme, at first the modes of passion and goodness are prominent. And afterwards, the mode of passion being generated in due course of material activities of different varieties becomes prominent. And the living entities are thus involved more and more in ignorance. Brahma is the representation of the mode of passion, and Vishnu is the representation of the mode of... And the mode of ignorance is represented by Lord Shiva, the father of material activities. Material nature is called the mother and initiator of materialistic life is the father, Lord Shiva. All material creation by living entities is therefore initiated by the mode of passion. With the advancement of duration of life in a particular millennium, the different modes are gradual development. In the, what is that? Okay, I thought there was a word missing. As such, in the age of Kali, when the mode of passion is most prominent, material activities of different varieties in the name of advancement civilization take place, and the living entity becomes more and more getting the real identity, the spiritual nature. By a slight cultivation of the mode of goodness, a glimpse of spiritual nature is perceived. But due to the prominence of the mode of passion, the mode of goodness becomes adulterated. Therefore, one cannot transcend the limits of material modes, and therefore realization of the Lord, who is always transcendent to the modes of nature, becomes very difficult for the living entities, even though prominently situated in the mode of goodness through cultivation of the various methods. In other words, the gross methods are adhibhutam, their maintenance is adhidaivam, and the initiator of material activities is called adhyatma. In the material world, these three principles act as prominent features, namely as raw material, its regular supplies, and its use in different varieties of material creations for sense enjoyment. Bewildered entities. Okay. So one thing I remember from reading the Prabhupada is that of passion, then you cannot understand spiritual knowledge because you are covered by the desire for your own enjoyment. So you cannot actually understand that Krishna is the enjoyer because it is your concerned with your own enjoyment, and that appears to be very pleasing, right? You get happiness from the mode of passion, in the beginning at least. In the beginning, the mode of passion gives happiness. Krishna says that happiness, pleasurable in the beginning, but becomes miserable at the end, is in the mode of passion. So because we are that happiness that comes from the mode of passion, which is generally material happiness derived from the body. So we cannot understand that we are not this body, soul, because our consciousness is in the body and we are enjoying through the body. And so we cannot understand that I am separate from the body because we are too much engrossed in that happiness. So sometimes Prabhupada says mode of goodness prevails, but that is contaminated by the mode of passion. So it is always, even in the mode of goodness, Krishna says it is binding, because mode of goodness is illuminating, but there also it's a different kind of happiness that you become used to, like nature and things and like that. So you feel like it conditions to your sense of happiness in this world. So, adulterated goodness. It's not pure goodness. So we have to. So to come to understand Vasu, we have to come to the platform of pure goodness. That is the pure goodness. But that how do we come to the platform of pure goodness? By devotional service. Mamcha yogya bicharena bhakti yogya sevate. Mode of ignorance means laziness and just lethargy, nothing. So all these things we can transcend by devotional service. Krishna says, Devi Esha Gunamayi. So But devotional service is also in different modes. There is devotional service in the mode of goodness. There is devotional service in the mode. There is devotional service in the mode of ignorance. Means the person who is doing devotional service is affected by those modes, and then he is doing the devotional service. So we have to consciously do devotional service, praying to Krishna that I am in the mode of passion, I want to do devotionals, because mode of passion, devotional service, through devotional service you are seeking name and fame and honor and respect. You are doing devotional service, but the thing is that I am seeking something else than Krishna's pleasure. It is mixed. Like demigods are devotees, but they are mixed devotees. So they are devotees, but they have a mixture of mode and all these things. So to come out of that, at least when we are doing devotional service, we should do it with pure consciousness. That I am doing this chanting because Krishna will be pleased. I want to please Krishna. That's why I'm doing this. Like I'm making the ball, so I'm doing this to please Krishna, because Krishna will this bhoga that we offer. So in that consciousness, if we do, then we'll not think about my own happiness. Then I'll think about Krishna's happiness. And by such service, Krishna is satisfied, and then we as part and parcel of Krishna will also experience happiness. Because Krishna is satisfied, then the jiva also automatically becomes satisfied. So on the mixed path, there is dangers, as we see in Indra. Indra is doing so many offenses and because there's a mixed path. So we are also, at least for myself, on the mixed path of devotional service. So we have to come to the pure path, pure service. But pure devotional service is very rare, but we have to be sincerely serving. Means the reason why we joined ISKCON is to please Krishna and the devotees, right? So that's we have to keep at the forefront, that I joined ISKCON to purify my consciousness so that I can become a lover of God and servant of the devotees. So that is what we have to remind, like Bhaktivedanta Maharaj said, we have to rejoin every day, right? He's saying we have to, first day we come, it's so wonderful, right? The philosophy and everything is so nice and wonderful. And
Gratitude is lost. First thing we come, it relieves our anxiety and feel so grateful that we have gotten this. It's so nice.
And
But
then
then over the time, gratitude is lost, and the same devotees, we start to see faults in them, start to offend them.
yeah, Alankar is like this and that. Yeah, that is also there. Yeah, it becomes like, okay, the same philosophy they are speaking every time, the same pastime. So it becomes like something, right? This,
Also, we know more. We know more
You
now.
see, in this country, there are television serials that were produced in the 70s and 80s, are still going through replays, right? Number of them, which was produced in 70s and 80s, are still, people still watch them again and
probably
again.
they don't watch it every day.
May not be every, I mean, in cycle they watch.
Yeah,
Right.
means it's like after some time you look at your album and say, oh, these were my pictures when I was a young boy, and then these were the songs, these were the movies I watched. Because the memory fades. But every day here, it's the same Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Every day you are doing, and every day it's like the same.
No, what I'm saying, what I was trying to say is, when they did a survey on this, why are you watching so and so star? That guy has already died. Okay, they're still having some profound liking for him,
Yeah.
or the actress.
Elvis Presley or something.
No, that is a musical star. I'm talking about conventional. So when they surveyed, what they found out is there are certain scenes that they really like, which stood in their memory. So for that, they don't mind, oh, in that episode this happened, in that episode. We could have a similar experience in
Yeah,
spirituality,
like, oh,
right?
that time in the kirtan, it was so nice. I was experiencing such taste in the
Right.
kirtan. That class, that wonderful, or that prasadam. I have experience of prasadam.
Right.
I won prasadam. I went to Atlanta one time in home program. Then met palak paneer 2004. But that palak paneer was so nice. There were some classes also, like that class. when I
But
was-
you remember Palak in the classes.
so yeah,
So it's possible.
glimpses. Yeah, glimpses.
It's
of-
possible, depending on the individual. Somebody has rasa for kirtan. I know Alankar Prabhu got instantly motivated one day to capture an electrifying kirtan as it was going, like he was going to everybody's faces.
Or with japa also, sometimes you get nice thing. Oh, this japa is so nice actually.
Prabhu said yesterday only they had experience. The day before yesterday.
Or where,
The Japa experience.
yeah, that was quite an experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is not something you can describe words to somebody else because you feel from inside that it's so nice experience, right?
Right.
So like that, we should get more and more such these retreats and everything are literally meant to bring about that experience. Like you
Right.
go to retreats, right? You went to Jagannath Puri.
Oh, Jagannath Puri was amazing.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
these retreats or some like that, you take a break and you chant simple rounds. Like you listen to it. So it's meant to bring about that experience. And that experience you taste, then it will you remember, oh, that time I wish I can repeat this experience.
Since you brought that up, can I share something about the recent Mayapur retreat
Yeah.
that took place just a month ago?
Yeah.
With His Holiness Radhanath Swami. So every year they are improving it. So I spoke to Malati Prabhu. She went for about a week and she came back when I spoke to her. My conversation with her was about a week ago. So Prabhu, how was the experience? You went to she said, no, I didn't really go to Yatra. Some Russians invited. Nowadays, there are a lot of Russians coming to,
Mayapur.
Mayapur, Vrindavan,
Yeah.
all that. And not just one group, multiple Russian groups are coming, according to what she shared with me, right? So one of those Russian groups invited her, and finally she decided to go and attend that yatra. But in between, she went and attended her for a week. So she said, as usual, 10,000 people showed up all over the world, this and that. And now, Gauranga Prabhu, what he has done, he has created multiple menu. If you are having gluten-free diet, here is a menu. Okay, if you are a North Indian, here is a menu. If you are a South Indian, here is a menu. Chinese. So he split it into 4, like a menu card. So whoever has dietary limitations, they can adhere to a particular. And imagine cooking for so many people. That requires, so the whole idea, if you were talking about service, I want to satisfy Krishna, I want to get blessings of Vaishnava. I love Gauranga Prabhu there.
And this is there's an extension to that also. So he had almost 500 devotees a day, dedicated just for prasadam 3 times. Those 500 devotees cooked, prepared everything for the lords and the devotees. But then as soon as the Mangalarti is over, they will chant their rounds and they will go they'll run. And suddenly, what's happening? Maharaj is about to give Bhagavatam class, but these people are going. Then one day he followed them. So they saw that, these people are preparing the feast. And then he realized that, sometimes even when we are sitting in a very nice class, but then, when we chant twice, so engage me in the service. When the service comes, like, oh no, I want to listen to the class, I want to do this. But when the service comes, these people are running. So that was also very inspiring, that we don't
It comes back to this.
keep us in the center.
You showed an excellent video yesterday from Mahotsava. That was like a lightning rod. We should watch it again. But the thing is, key to everything is chanting good japa. That's how I understand. Of course, you have reached each other. Maybe both reinforce each other. I mean, even the beginning of this class, you were talking a little bit about getting taste for holy name, right? That seems to be this very central point. Whatever we need to do to develop taste.
I think service and chanting both complement each other. So you do service and
Let's say somebody is preparing for Shadam, he has to prepare for so many people, but he's not getting much time for chanting or reading scriptures. So how would he progress. Just by making Prashadam in progress.
Any service they say and you can do for Krishna, and if it is done in the right context. But in this age, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nasdeva Nasdeva. So chanting, that's why morning program is there for devotees to absorb that time. We have less time to chant 16 rounds, but many temples they have 2 hours. So you just go for Mangalarati. Of course, if you have breakfast service and something or DT service, but in many temples they have a lot of devotees. So it's not like every day you are doing DT service, or then you get your time to chant and like that. So if you chant in the morning hours, then you have a specific time for japa. In the whole program, Prabhupada.
But as you're saying, Maharaj is giving lecture, but other people are going out for Prashadam service, so they're missing out. So,
See, but they can hear on the, it's all recorded.
yeah, maybe that's not telecasted.
Yeah, but again, it was the point was that they are not putting their desire in front.
It's not a desire, but it's part of the curriculum that Prabhupada has given us. It's sitting in the Bible, Nityam Bhagavad Seva, it's coming from Krishna only. You should hear Bhagavad. But they are doing, while doing service, they are hearing that stuff. That is doing, they should not be missing out the class.
Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to do it.
So here's that.
No, this yatra is a special thing, right? For 7 days, but there you have like all the time and doing the yatra is special time, but yeah, because
So their promise is Mataji. So it's like this. They say breakfast is at 8. 7:30 the servers will be ready. Everything will be ready. Not 1 minute late. Very standard. So unless somebody is dedicated enough to go and do the service, so they get up at 2 in the morning to chant. The condition go on Prabhupada, we have to chant.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have to start at 2. And then if you have to cook for 10,000 people, I mean, if you attend lecture, how is it possible?
yeah, and we also heard that pastime of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, right? That they got realization that that guy who came, right, the Madan Mohan Malviya, right? So he wanted to hear, but then he did service. And through service, he got
No,
answers.
but that's good. While doing service, they're hearing and chanting. You can be doing that while doing service.
Yeah, like you're doing, so you can think, you're thinking of Krishna, or this is going to go for Krishna. That if you're meditating on Krishna, ultimately the idea is to bring the mind to Krishna. Whether you're hearing a class, or you can be in the class and mind can be somewhere else. So if you're doing this service and you're thinking, oh, this is Krishna is going to enjoy this thing, it's so nice, getting an opportunity to serve Krishna. Krishna, I'm so grateful you're engaging me in this service. Then you are in the perfect consciousness. You are in the
The
perfect.
reason I'm saying it, yesterday I had the home program. It was like this whole day went in making the prashadam. From the morning, and I was not reading, and but so it's a big.
But you made so many things, right? So that's why we can make
Yeah,
one
but
simple.
it takes time. But you can be doing.
But we like the prasadam you made. So
Yeah, special
I
seva.
told her that chart was the best, the first day she made.
But you made ourselves. That was really that made us.
he didn't eat yesterday. So I don't know.
Oh, he had.
Oh yeah, he came in there.
How can you forget that?
Oh, okay. Okay, so did we finish the purport?
Yes.
Yes, it's.
9 o'clock.
No, we didn't finish the purport, did we?
We finished it. Last
I have a
time.
question, but wait,
Yeah, we finished. Yeah.
if you're done with your discussion, I have.
Yeah. But yeah, we can.
So Prabhu, this concept of explaining to others, right? Not so much for our understanding, but let's say you have a new person